In 2020, we increased our share of black vote by 50%, 5-0. The polling's coming out, and they go, wait a minute, there must be a mistake here. They're saying black people really like Trump. There must be a mistake. Take them for granted. They've taken you for granted. You ever notice they always come around about 2 months before an election? Then they get your votes, and then they go on and, 4 years later they come and say hello, or 2 years, depending on what office we're talking about. But they come back and they do nothing. They do absolutely nothing. And they've controlled these cities for 100 years. And nothing happens. They're slum areas. They're dangerous. Nothing has happened, and we're going to change it. We're going to change it, right? They're going to tell crooked Joe Biden, "You're fired. You're fired. Get the hell out of here, you."
Well. Don't you love to see it? Watching these woke leftists, Democrats get red-pilled. It gives me life. It brings me hope. Okay, it's a light at the end of the tunnel, because there are so many just black people in general, but I'm speaking to the black people today, that totally get wrapped up in all the Democrat Party lies, all the politician lies, all the media lies, hell, even misinformation from their peers about what the Republicans support, what Trump supported. Like, they get gaslit on the economy, somehow thinking that is better today than it was during the Trump administration, which makes absolutely zero sense. And the evidence is out there. I've done video after video after video about this, but some people don't get it. Some people, according to their comments, watch all of my videos and they still don't understand. They'll still argue down every point, of course, being wrong, obviously. But some people, like this man, he woke up. I love to see people getting red-pilled, because he's tired of the divisiveness. He's tired of the lies. He's tired of being gaslit. It's like the equivalent of your significant other telling you, hey, I'm not cheating on you. It's your imagination. Like, you're just imagining things. Like, I didn't do anything. Things are better between us than they've ever been. And you're like, well, I don't think things are good between us. I think we need to work on them. And they're like, no, I've done everything I could possibly do. You're just complaining for no reason. That's basically what Joe Biden and the Democrats are doing. They're trying to do what many would say, pee on your leg and tell you that it's raining, right? It's the equivalent of that. So this guy apparently is related to Maxine Waters somehow. I can't really find a lot of information about this guy, but he gives a hell of a speech here. He is a reverend, and he goes full MAGA, supports Trump and all, historical Democrat. Okay, you love to see it. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get into it.
You know, black people used to be Republicans until right after the Great Depression. I think we've ridden this donkey as far as it can take us.
Facts.
Okay, it's dead. I'm ready to get on a great big old African elephant. Right? We have to remember who Joe Biden is. This is a guy who was mentored by Senator Byrd and people like Strom Thurmond, the card-carrying members of the Ku Klux Klan.
Yeah, so for those who don't know, Joe Biden was historically a segregationist. Now, the way his logic works, and he's right, he wasn't like as racist as these guys were. However, he still supported the things that they supported, okay, if that makes sense. And from what I can tell based off the history, I think Joe Biden is right about that. Joe Biden, I don't think is just like a horrible guy by nature. I just think he's an idiot. He's an egomaniac, which causes bad things to happen. And therefore, because he allows and knows about those bad things, then you could consider him to be a bad person for wanting to ignore them in favor of his own pride and ego and hubris.
So, you know, she represents Republican 2.0. What she's talking about for us is a new emancipation, socially, politically, economically. It's emancipation 2.0. And we have a real opportunity, not only with her candidacy, but with President Trump, to start again in this country and recognizing where we've been. Look, I'm not telling any of you who are Democrats to rip up your voter registration card. Okay? Maxine Waters, Auntie Maxine, imagine if she was really your auntie. She's really my auntie.
Oh, I didn't know. I didn't know. I knew they was related because I saw like some comments about this, but I didn't know that this person was an actual relative. Oh man, Maxine's gonna be pissed. Y'all know this lady is an emotional train wreck. Maxine Waters is like the classic black auntie. So for those who are curious, if you're not black and you're wondering, hey, are black aunties really like this? Absolutely. This is definitely, she reminds me of not one, but several family members. But unfortunately, like a lot of family members, Maxine Waters doesn't know what the hell she's talking about. And she will steer you down a path of destruction if you follow her advice. Her age has brought her some wisdom, but not political wisdom. Okay, this lady is wrong. And a lot of these leaders on the Democrat Party side, I'd argue probably damn near all of them, at least as of right now, because again, they're standing behind crooked Joe Biden. And due to the way that things are going, if you're standing behind Joe Biden right now, you're just wrong. Okay, point blank period. There's not any issues I could think of that he's on the right side of, including some of these social issues like student loan forgiveness and stuff, because it's unconstitutional to just forgive student loan forgiveness. If you just want student loan forgiveness, that's okay, but you should want that to go through, like there's laws in place for everything to occur a certain way. So you go through Congress. Now, when the Democrats have a congressional majority and they still don't pass something, you should be questioning why the hell they don't do it. Now, why people don't question that, I think is because they either don't understand the government or because they'd rather just, I don't know, blame the opposite side being the Republicans. But it's foolish to do that when you have elected officials. You need to hold them accountable for what they do and what they don't do. Not just hold other people accountable for people that you didn't want to be in the office to begin with. You can't really hold them accountable because you didn't even support them to begin with. Like you don't support them, they don't support you, right? But if it's people who you did support, you managed to get them in office and they still don't do what you demanded of them to do, then why would you vote for them again? Make it make sense.
Exists. After all of those years of dealing with failed policies, how many more lives, how much more time, how many more generations are we going to sacrifice at the altar of Democrat politics when they treat us as a political afterthought?
Facts. Yo, where the hell is Kamala Harris? Where the hell is she? Nobody knows. Kamala Harris, she shows up when there's like some sort of racial divisive issue that happens or something. But outside of that, she disappears. I mean, has she even talked about Lake and Raleigh? I know Biden has, but I don't think Kamala has, which is, I mean, she was a border czar. I don't know if she still is, but she was, right? So what about that? Like it's like she's invisible. I'm like, what the hell happened? Kamala Harris's position is basically to essentially secure her position as the first female and black female president if Joe Biden happens to croak. That's what it seems like her position is, not to mention Joe Biden is using her. Definitely, she certainly was not the most qualified person to pick as VP. So Biden is basically just using her as a token, something that the Republicans oftentimes, or something that Republicans are accused of doing, is tokenizing black people, treating black people as monoliths. That's exactly what Kamala Harris is. She doesn't really have the credentials. Being an attorney general, I don't think is good credentials to be the president, especially if you saw how she performed during those debates. She didn't really have anything going for her except for making Joe Biden look racist, which he is. And I guess that was enough. Maybe he felt like her passion was enough to secure him the presidency. And I would argue that it wasn't. The reason why Biden won is because of tactics deployed during the C virus pandemic and nothing else. I don't believe that there's any other reason why they won. Even the Trump derangement, I don't think was enough because Trump got more votes too.
It's time for us to make a positive choice in our own best interest and vote for the candidates who are in our own best interest. And if they are Republicans, then so be it.
Nah, that's like telling people their religion is wrong. Have y'all ever talked to somebody who has never questioned the Democrats before? I was one of those people before too, and not everybody's like me, but I tell you right now, I think a lot of people are way more stubborn than I am. I'm open to additional information, changing my perspective. A lot of people from the beginning are like, it doesn't matter what you tell me, you're not gonna change my mind. They'll literally tell you that. It doesn't matter what you say, you're not gonna change my mind. That means that they don't care about the truth. They think they already have it, and they don't care what the truth is. They just know how they feel, and how they feel cannot be Trump. You cannot defeat how they feel, because they're going to feel that way irrespective of what the truth is. And I mean, I tell you what, you can feel however you want to feel, but you know, the economy speaks for itself. Record inflation, terrible housing market, record illegal immigration. I mean, what else do you need? Is the price of gas satisfactory to you? I mean, I don't think it is. I mean, they started giving less product and goods and services, right? You get less potato chips. You buy hamburger patties. They're smaller patties than they used to be. I mean, anything you could think of, tissue, less tissue. They are shrinking everything, trying to keep making money. The businesses are adjusting, and the people can barely keep up. And they're trying to tell you that the economy is great. Lies.
White America, working class, and black America, working class, decides to work together, there's no demographic that can stop us. What other sign from God do you need than to see the predominantly white Republican Party moaning, groaning with us about the likes of the FBI and the CIA? We're talking about...
I mean, the whole logic is, you know, divided we fall, right? Together we rise, divided we fall. So, of course, from the Democrat Party side, they want division. And if division doesn't exist, they'll create it. That's why you see so many of these race baiting stories, these gender baiting stories, these like homophobia, transphobia related stories. That's their shtick, is to create a villain. The dragon to slay is the conservatives and whoever is running as a conservative candidate. And they thought it was going to be Ron DeSantis. So y'all saw how hard they went after him. He was Donald Trump 2.0, according to conservatives. But guess what? Now nobody cares anymore, right? They're not talking about Ron DeSantis at all. Now that, you know, he's not going to be the president. And now it's all back at Donald Trump. That's how these people operate. There's no reality behind any of the stuff that Democrats purport. Okay, they can try to pull data. And I'm not saying that all their data is wrong, but what they'll do is they'll give you like half truths to the data, and they'll leave out all of these details because they know the vast majority of people are ignorant. And then they'll just try to say, well, hey, numbers don't lie. Even though, again, I work with data every day, and you can make the data look however the hell you want. I promise you can. It's quite easy. Just change one variable. Data is totally thrown off. Right, change the axis, round up or round down if you want to. Remove decimal places. There's all kinds of stupid stuff you can do, right? This is easy stuff, and these freaking morons sit up here and try to gaslight people every day, and I'm sick of it. And apparently, this black man is too. Black people in general should be tired of being gaslit. How the hell you gonna keep supporting people and they never had no damn results? How are you going to support him? How?
Timing, right? Doesn't he have a way of making strange bedfellows? He has a way of drawing us together in perilous times to stand together, work together, fight together, vote together, lead this country together. Because those people who are inclined to its destruction are our common enemy. Our common enemy.
Look, I'm gonna tell you right now, Maxine, she ain't gonna like that, okay? But Maxine, this lady has been in government for years, and she is, in my opinion, one of the biggest clowns in all of the political landscape. Now, technically, there's a lot of freaking Pennywises out there, okay? A lot of Krusty the Clowns out there. So Maxine Waters is just another one of them. She was one of the people who tried to deny the 2016 election where they were trying to certify Donald Trump's results.
The objection is in writing, and I don't care that it is not signed by a member of the Senate. I do not wish to debate. I wish to ask, is there one United States senator who will join me in this letter of objection? There is no debate.
And now she's out here talking about democracy, this, that, and the third. Is always whenever the outcome is something they don't like, then it's okay. It's like, well, we're justified in trying to deny this election because Donald Trump is racist or he's evil, he's a white supremacist, whatever nonsense they want to make up as their justification. But of course, when the other side does it, it's like, oh, they're trying to overthrow democracy and overthrow the government. These people are clowns. And I'm glad that this guy, look, it was a small room full of people, but look, it's not, this is how it all starts, okay? It starts with a guy like this talking to this room full of people. I mean, you know, only maybe half the people are listening, and it sounds like, looks like he was endorsing Kari Lake, who's awesome, by the way. I hope she could either get her congressional seat, which I do think that she will, or, you know, become Trump VP or something. I think either way, she's solid in my book. I haven't seen anything alarmist about Kari Lake. She called out the bribe. I did a video about a dude trying to bribe her. She called that stuff out. So Kari Lake legitimately seems like she's got a good heart. And so does this man. It seemed like maybe he was misguided for a long time. And now he's tired. Okay. The difference with me is I don't have a lot of patience. Okay. I'm only in my mid-30s, but I don't have that much patience when it comes to people and promises. Okay. If you keep promising me something and you don't deliver, then I start to question not only one, your ability to deliver, two, your intention. And what I've seen from the Democrats is that they fail on both fronts. They don't have the ability to deliver on most of the things that they claim. And two, when they do have the ability, presidency, majority in the House, majority in the Senate, they still don't deliver on a damn thing. At least not none of the stuff that they promise black people. Certainly not. Okay, like they've been promising stuff like reparations and student loan forgiveness for literally decades. Since I was a child, probably before that, probably back in my parents' generations. Okay, and they delivered a little fraction of student loan forgiveness, which, by the way, Obama also did. Joe Biden does like some of the same stuff that other people did. Obama had a little bit of student loan forgiveness. Joe Biden had a little bit of student loan forgiveness too. Nobody that I know has had their student loans forgiven. Okay, nobody qualifies. Okay, so to imply like it's this big thing that Democrats pulled off is a bunch of freaking BS. It's nonsense. Okay, the majority of people don't qualify for this stuff. Okay, but this is the thing: is if it was illegal to begin with, it always needed to go through Congress. So they try to say, "Oh, the Supreme Court struck it down." What the hell is the Supreme Court for? At what point is a court fair? You can't say the courts are fair in the E. Jean Carroll case, in the fraud case, and in the Stormy Daniels case against Trump, and then all of a sudden, but nah, the Supreme Court, oh, they're partisan. They're partisan. That doesn't make any sense. Basically, whenever things are going against Trump or going the way that Democrats want, then it's like, okay, now the courts are fair. But the second they don't go your way, oh, they're just partisan. They're just playing politics. It doesn't make sense. Anyway, guys, every little bit counts, okay? So this video, I didn't really see. I saw literally 2 people had shared this and it had no views on it. Okay, so this was on Twitter. So this is something that at least I feel like every little bit counts. Hopefully this exposure and maybe others will see my video. Share this video out, okay? Get this exposure out there so people will just start to question hey, it does kind of seem like nothing really happens when we vote Democrat. Look, if Maxine Waters feels betrayed, then I guess she understands how I felt and many black people feel and many people in general felt for years voting Democrat. Welcome to the club. Drop a like on the video. Subscribe to the channel if you're new. I appreciate you watching the Black Anomaly Rising channel. I'm out.
They've thrown black Americans overboard, and it's been not a pretty thing to watch. You take a look at some of these inner cities, but I and the Republican Party will fight for the black community like you have never had anybody fight for you before. maybe we have to leave the word again out. You understand what I mean? Because maybe there is no again. We're going to make it great for you and great for everybody.